Hello, everyone. My name is Cat Oriel with Forbes Breaking News. Today, I'm here with House Majority Whip Congressman Tom Emmer. Congressman, thanks so much for joining me today.
Good to see you, Kat.
Good to see you. So let's just jump right into it. Last night, we had the first presidential debate between former President Donald Trump, President Joe Biden. It's no secret that there's panic among Democrats after Biden's performance. As a top House Republican, how are you reacting to last night's event?
Well, I think Donald Trump killed it last night, and Joe Biden killed himself. There's a reason why they won't share the special counsel Robert Hur's taped interviews. I think we know why now. It's because of what we saw last night, and it's frankly, it's disturbing and it's unnerving that Joe Biden is in the White House, and that's why Donald Trump is going to win.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, after that performance, if they are to replace him, do you think that they should do that before the election? I mean, I'm sure there is some worries among House Republican leadership about him continuing to be the commander-in-chief. Even if they were to replace him as the nominee, he would still be in office for the next 7 months. So should he resign immediately?
Well, it'd probably be good if he did resign immediately and let Kamala take over. She actually polls lower, incredibly, than even President Biden. It really doesn't matter what they do on the other side. It is Joe Biden and Democrats' failed policies over the last 4 years that have literally destroyed our economy, opened our borders, and created fires all around the world. And people across the country already understand this, Republican, Democrat, and other. Donald Trump did what you needed to do last night. He talked about the issues that matter most to the people. He talked about the great economy that he and his administration were responsible for. He talked about sealing the southern border and the fact that Joe Biden, through 64 executive orders, opened it, and we've now had 10 to 20 million people come across our southern border. By the way, Joe Biden last night, he either just doesn't have it, which I don't think he does, or he blatantly lied about terrorists coming across our southern border. We already know at least 350 were identified. One of those terrorists, an al-Shabaab terrorist, was actually found in my state. So look, it's people can talk about the candidates all they want. It's about the issues. It's what is about going to give American families the ability to survive and thrive again, to be safe in their homes and in their communities, and to be safe around the world, and make sure that we stop this invasion from our southern border. The only guy offering that is Donald J. Trump. That's why he will be the 47th president.
Well, one of the biggest issues for Americans as well that we didn't touch on yet is election security and democracy. And, former President Trump, I think some people are concerned with his answers in that regard. He was dodging Jake Tapper's questions about his role in January 6th and the attack on the Capitol and underplaying his role on it and pinning it on Nancy Pelosi and Mayor Bowser. What's your response to that answer from President Trump?
I would love to hear them answer why they didn't want the National Guard when they were advised 3 days beforehand. Nobody's ever asked that question. It's one of the reasons that ridiculous sham committee that was chosen specifically by Nancy Pelosi for Nancy Pelosi, that's why we didn't recognize that, not just the way it was formed, but the way it operated. And now we find out they've destroyed evidence. Amazing. Look, I don't think Donald Trump avoided any questions last night. I just think some people in the media don't like the answers he gave. Jake Tapper, I thought, did a very good job last night, and Donald Trump answered his questions. I know people want to try and create a narrative that didn't happen. There's one guy that actually was coherent, was clear, and was concise. That was Donald J. Trump. The other guy was gone.
You voted to certify the election in 2020. If President Donald Trump loses again, how can we be confident there won't be another January 6th attack on the Capitol and that he'll accept the results?
Well, first off, Donald J. Trump is going to win the election. Second, the idea that democracy is on the ballot, I totally agree with. But democracy is on the ballot because Joe Biden and Democrats have attacked the Supreme Court, have been lawless when it comes to abortion, when it comes to the southern border, and have been completely feckless around the world. So at the end of this election, I think America is ready to unify. And I think what Donald J. Trump did last night is he showed Americans that we can be unified. And I would just say this to people who are questioning democracy. Joe Biden is the threat to democracy. Donald Trump is democracy. He is about protecting this country and making sure that every American has an equal opportunity to succeed and be safe.
Mm-hmm. And so going back to President Biden a little bit, I know you said that, you don't really know what the decisions on the other side would be, but do you think that Kamala Harris should be the one to replace him, or who do you think that Democrats should nominate instead?
Cat, I really don't care. They could nominate their favorite pet. I don't care. Yeah. They are not going to win in November. Donald J. Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States. We're going to fix what they have broken in the last 4 years. You're going to flip the U.S. Senate. It will be Republican controlled, and you will hold the House. And then we can go to work right away in January of 2025 to try and put this puzzle back together that Joe Biden and his elite cronies have broken.
Mm-hmm. How do you think Biden's performance is going to affect down ballot races? Do you think Republicans are going to be able to maintain the House, win back the Senate after that show last night?
Democrats aren't going to win the House at all. They know they're not going to win the House. They've already made millions of dollars of reservations for TV in the fall. And Kat, I think it's like 86% of their money is defending Democrat incumbents. They already know they're not going to win the House back. I think Donald Trump's performance last night, it bodes very well for Republican candidates all the way down the ballot.
Mm-hmm. And I do also just want to ask about your relationship with President Trump. I know you've had your differences with him in the past when it came to the speakership bid, and now you're here, strongly defending him and advocating for him. So what is he like, and how would you work with him if he is to be reelected?
The same way I worked with him when he ran in 2016. I was actually the chair of his campaign in the state of Minnesota. The same way I worked with him in 2018 and 2020 when we were trying to take back the House. It was Donald J. Trump and all the work that he did for our House candidates and incumbents that allowed us to defy the media's expectations when they were saying we were going to lose 24 seats in the House. We won 15 because of Donald J. Trump and the relationship that we had with him. We lost the White House that night, and we lost the Senate. So we got a great relationship with the president, always have had a great relationship with the president. Have we had differences? Human beings have differences. We don't discuss ours except between ourselves.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to me about the debate. Is there anything else that I didn't get to ask you about that you would like to touch on?
No, Florida is the center of the hockey universe as of last Monday, now that the Florida Panthers won the Cup. How's that?